Macrobee, can't say that word. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we are at the start of a weekly vlog. This time it's a weekly vlog with me going out to Edinburgh. So I need to pack, and if you've been here before you know I hate packing. So of course I'm going to chat to you while I attempt to pack. It's a dreaded task. I love going away, hate the packing side of things. It's just no thank you. So I have preemptively got pretty much everything I need to pack. I'm only going for a few days, so I've only got a little suitcase, although it will be my first time flying out on my own. So I'm going out earlier than my partner. He's going to be meeting me a couple of days later. It's only an hour's flight. I'm only going to Edinburgh. Honestly, a little bit nervous just because I've never done any of this on my own before, but I'm looking forward to it. I feel like it's going to be a good time. Let's start attempting to pack. I am going to be bringing my Kindle. The book I'm going to be reading for that, or at least at the start of it, is Divine Rivals, and this is by Rebecca Ross. Also, I have to take my Something Wicked This Way Comes jumper. I get cold easy. I need a nice soft fluffy jumper. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I'm enjoying this one. So this is a buddy read over on my Discord. Got a monthly book club that we're doing over there now, and this was the one that won for the month, and I was a bit dubious going into it. I said this last week. However, I'm really enjoying it. We're doing it by parts. There's 3 parts to this book, so we're doing a part a week because the chapters are really short. So in the first part it was 14 chapters, but they're so quick. This is also a new cardigan that I got. Very pleased with it. So this one's going to be coming with me. I think it's actually going to be raining every single day we're in Edinburgh, and it's colder, so I'm bringing a cardigan. I'm not going to wear it now though. I think I'll just wear my raincoat today because it looks like it's going to rain here as well, but it's warmer here, so I don't need to layer up. Did you need to know that? No. But Divine Rivals is a really nice book. So it's a fantasy book. It is set in the past, but I can't tell you exactly when in the past. I haven't quite worked that one out. Am I doing this right? No, I should probably put my clothes on the other side. I've already got my slipper socks because again, I get cold. But yeah, so I can't work out what timeline Divine Rivals is taking place in. We know it's in the past. They use typewriters, and there's also gods and goddesses. We haven't learned much about the gods and goddesses yet. Instead, we just know that they are different gods and goddesses. My top. Well done, Kirsten. This is why I can't do this at the same time. So you don't know much about the mythology about the gods and goddesses. Our main character Iris is trying to learn more about them, but the newspaper that she's working for does not want to print these stories, and we don't really know why, but they are not interested in printing those sort of stories. So she decides, you know what, I want to find out what's going on, because there is this big war going on between a god and goddess, and her brother is caught up in it all, and she hasn't heard from her brother in months, so she wants to go out and find out what's gone on, what's happening. These are the important stories that we need to talk about, and we're just glossing over them. However, she has a rival at the newspaper, and this rival is called Roman. She doesn't really get on with him. You learn more about him because you end up with his perspective as well, and his story is really sad as well. So both Iris and Roman are dealing with difficult things at the minute. They've both lost someone in a sense. So Iris's brother is off into war. She hasn't heard from him in months. Roman's also lost someone, but in a different set of circumstances. And Iris is also dealing with the fact that her mother in this first part of the book just isn't present, isn't there, isn't able to help. She's taken the loss of her son going off to war really badly. There's a lot of emotion in this book, which is keeping me really connected. Like, I'm connecting to it so much more than what I thought. It's an easy read because of the chapters and how fast it is, and also just the way it's written makes for a really easy read. There's a lot going on that you can unpick. Roman and Iris have these magic typewriters. Now Iris doesn't realise that she's writing to Roman. She thinks she's just writing to her brother. She's been pouring her heart out onto a page. She's been shoving it underneath a door in her cupboard, and they've been disappearing, and she never knew where they were disappearing to, and then we find out exactly where they've been disappearing to, and eventually they start writing back and forth. And that's been the end of part 1 of where I'm up to, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really interesting the way the magic is done in this world, the way we have the gods and goddesses. I'm interested in learning more about them, but I also like the fact that they're not at the forefront. The main thing at the forefront is this love story, really, where you have these 2 people that are just pouring out their heart in a way that you can when you feel comfortable and safe, and because there's a level of anonymity, probably mispronouncing that word, between the two of them. I mean, not so much on his part because he knows who's writing, but on Iris's part, she doesn't know. He's able to use that for him to have an outlet as well of being able to show his vulnerability, and it's really nice. Honestly, I didn't think I was gonna like it, and I'm enjoying it way more than what I thought. Right, let's get back to packing a couple things. Okay, clothes are packed. Honestly, I'm pleased my clothes are small because I pack so badly, it's unreal, but they're in there, that'll do. Moving on to packing other bits and bobs. I am going to bring my Switch with me. I haven't played it in ages. Like, I normally just play Animal Crossing, but I haven't played it in ages. But I thought, as I've got this evening on my own, I've got the next couple of days on my own in Edinburgh, it'd be nice to have something to do in the evening if I don't feel like reading. Whether that actually happens or not, I don't know. Unstable Unicorns, just because it's a fun game, and when he does arrive, it'll be fun to play with him. Journaling supplies, because I do always like to journal whenever I go away. I think it's a really nice way to kind of have a moment in my journal to show where I've been, and I've really been enjoying that. So I try to journal once a week anyway. Sometimes I just get too busy and too caught up with things, but I really like to journal, especially like if I've done something in particular or if I've gone away somewhere. I really like journaling. Not the point. The second book I'm bringing with me, and this is L'Adore by Mary Shelley. So this is rediscovered classic. So it's a classic that was lesser known. It was originally printed as The Beautiful Widow. Is teeny tiny writing. It's gonna be a bit of a chore to get through, so that's why I'm quite pleased that I'm pairing it with Divine Rivals for something that was lighter to then go with something like this. I did start it yesterday, not far into it. I'm up to chapter 5, page 32, and this is Mary Shelley's most Jane Austen-like work, which I think is really interesting. I'm really intrigued to read this one. The setup of it with just learning about our different main characters, it's been a bit of a slower read, but I don't mind it. But you can definitely see the Jane Austen type, like you can see why it was pitched as a most Jane Austen-like novel, because it does have those points, which is really interesting considering I've read a couple of other things by Mary Shelley. I've read her short story Matilda, and I've also read Frankenstein, and both of those were a lot more dreary and gothic-y. This one is starting out very different, a lot more hopeful and nice. Lord L'Adore passed away, and his son wasn't interested in taking over the household, and so he had got married, he'd done his own thing, and then when we next see him, his wife's passed away, he's got a young child, and he's going off to America, and he lives in America for 12 years. He cuts himself off, he keeps himself separate, he takes pleasure in the day-to-day little things of raising his daughter, having her be very secluded, as a result very naive in the ways of things, but she's so happy. However, that naivety gets broken because we have this person that comes along that is destitute. He's looking to try and build his money. L'Adore ends up going, okay, sure, we're gonna help you out a bit, but he clearly doesn't like this man. He's not really interested in having him around, and so he ends up going off and being like, you know what, I'm gonna go hunting. You stay here, I'm going off for a few days. But what he doesn't think about is the fact that he's left his daughter, his 15-year-old daughter, alone with this man, and this man is like, I want to get into this family, you have money, so I'm going to do what I can to get your daughter convinced that I should be here. And so he sets about opening her eyes up to these things. Like, she's been very childish, she's never even thought about men in this way, she never even considered these sort of things, and it really worries her and disturbs her. And so she explains the situation when her father comes back, and he's like, right, that's it, we're going back to England. And that's where we're up to. And so on the back of this, it is showing that it explores the web of relationships between three women bound together by the exacting Lord L'Adore. So the person that's gone, that's it, we're coming back. Cornelia, L'Adore's estranged wife, which is interesting because it's definitely made to out that she's dead in the start of this, so that's interesting. So she's ruled by her mother and the norms of aristocratic society. Ethel, his daughter, so the 15-year-old who's had her eyes opened in a way that she doesn't like. So she's been raised in the wilderness of Illinois and utterly dependent on her father. That's what she's grown up with, just her father for company and her nursemaid. Like, that's it. She's not had any interaction with any other people, so she's very dependent on him. Then we have the independent and highly educated Fanny Durham, the daughter of Ladore's childhood friend. It's going to be really interesting. So far we've only met Lord Ladore and Ethel. I'm enjoying this one. It's a slower read because of how tiny weeny the writing is, but I am really enjoying it, and it does have lighter heartedness to it than I've come to expect from Mary Shelley, so it's really interesting to read something else. Those are the two things that are coming away with me, because I don't think, in all honesty, I'm going to get more than this read, and even then I'll be surprised if I actually finish Ladore while I'm away on holidays. We'll see how much actually gets read, but I have just a couple more things to pack, so I'm going to finish packing and then we'll catch up soon, see what I get read and what I get up to in Edinburgh. I hope that you enjoy. Sorry, this was a very rambly intro, but if I don't have you with me when I'm packing, the packing just doesn't get done, and I've already left it to last minute. Like, I have to leave in, I probably have about 5 hours, maybe 4.5 hours. I've got plenty of time to do things. I also want to edit and stuff, but yeah. Rambly intro, I'm sorry, but I will skedaddle off and catch up with you soon, and yeah, I'm very excited to be going off to Edinburgh. So I made it to Edinburgh, quite pleased. To be fair, on the flight on the way here, I just fell asleep. I was so worn out, but I've enjoyed it being here. So where we're staying is an Airbnb. It's actually student accommodation, but during summer holidays, obviously there's no students. So they've decided to kind of let these out as holiday homes for during that period. And I like it. I like the fact that this is a nice studio. I'll show you a little bit around afterwards, or maybe insert a clip here, who knows. It's only small, but I like it. I like the fact that I can cook my own food. It's a small container, like it's student accommodation. It's nothing fancy, but it's really localized. Like, it's so easy to walk into the main centre. It's not far at all. Only downside that I've got at the minute is that I cannot film here during the day. So between 10 till 6, there is works going on, and there's drilling and hammering and all sorts, and it's really noisy. Thankfully, I plan on being out most of the day, and if I do want to relax, I can go downstairs where there's like a little study area, quiet area, which is quite nice, and that is really quiet. You don't hear any of the works going on, so I can always do that if I want to during the day. But it doesn't mean I can't film. So I've either got to film before they arrive, or it's only going to be of the evening time, which I think is going to be the way I do it. Beside the point, the first day was a very busy day. It was a very long day because I couldn't check in here until 3 p.m, but my flight landed in Edinburgh at 9:30 in the morning, so I had a lot of time to kill. I decided that because I knew that I had all that time, I wanted to go and visit every bookstore in Edinburgh, and I wanted to do that today. Now, the first bookstore I went to was of course Waterstones because I had the voucher to use. My mum got me a book which was the exact same as what Naomi got me last week as well. So she returned that one so I could have a voucher instead, and I used that voucher to get Immortal Longings by Chloe Gone. And as you would have seen, I did get the beautiful sprayed edge edition. I have to admit, I prefer the US edition of this because it's black and gold, and I just kind of prefer the way that looks. This is very busy. Like, it's nice, and I'm hoping it goes with the aesthetic of the book, obviously, but this one is Buddy Read for Discord for the month of August, so if you want to join in, I'll have my Discord linked below. And this is a Shakespeare retelling of Antony and Cleopatra. And what I really liked about this is when I was reading it in my anticipated releases video, I liked how this kind of does a twist on the typical fantasy plotline where you have this princess that's in exile, her family's been killed, and now she needs to rise up against whoever's usurped them. But she's the one that's usurping them, she's the one that's going around killing her family, and I'm really intrigued to find out why and what on earth's going on. Oh my gosh, my hair's a mess, sorry. But yeah, I really am intrigued by this one. I think it's going to be really good. From there, I went to quite a few different bookshops. I went to a couple of second-hand bookshops, which I absolutely loved. I think my favourite at the second-hand is actually Armchair Book. I really enjoyed that bookshop. There was just books everywhere. It felt really cozy, and there were just so many books. In all honesty, I was looking to see if I could find a book, but in the end decided not to get anything. There was so many books. I really enjoyed that one. And then I did go to Blackwell's, and I didn't film that one because I've actually filmed that in the last Edinburgh vlog that I did, which was a little while ago. I'll have it linked. I'm pretty sure I filmed it in there. And also by this point I was so starving hungry, I ended up not really even looking around properly. I was like, no, I can't bother. So I went, ate, and then decided I still had an hour left before I could check in, so decided to use up that time by visiting the two last bookshops I went to. And honestly, I loved these two bookshops. They looked so beautiful. So the last one I went to, Rare Bird Bookshop, really liked the aesthetic of that store. Like, it was absolutely beautiful. I almost got a couple books from there, but in the end decided to leave it. But I think my favourite bookshop of the day was actually the Golden Hair Bookshop. I really enjoyed that bookshop. It's a small bookshop, like it's really small, but it was just so, there was something about it that I just loved. And it's honestly probably a really frustrating shop for some people to go into because it's not separated by genre. It's just done A to Z fiction. You have classics, sci-fi, literary fiction, fantasy, everything's all chucked in and mixed up. But I loved it. I loved their selection. Like, they had to be quite exclusive in their selection of books, but it really spoke to me. Like, I loved their selection of books. So I got two books from there. The first one is a book I've had my eye on since it was in hardback actually, and that's Swanfolk, and this is by Kristin Ormarsdottir. Sorry, I'm probably butchering that name. But this is actually shortlisted for the Icelandic Women's Literature Prize, which makes me really excited to read because I haven't read any Icelandic fiction before, so really excited for this one. And this synopsis has intrigued me so much that I knew when it came out in paperback I wanted it, so when I saw it, I had to get it. So let me just read this to you because I think it's so intriguing. It's weird, but I love it. In the not too distant future, a young spy named Elizabeth Ever is about to discover something that will upend her life. Elizabeth likes to take long solitary walks near the lake. One day she sees two creatures emerging from the water, half human, half swan. She follows them through tangles of thickets into a strange new reality. Pulled into the monomaniacal and often violent quest of the swanfolk, Elizabeth finds her own mind increasingly untrustworthy. Soon she is forced to reckon with the consequences of her involvement with these unusual beings and a past life she has been trying to evade. And this one's translated by Vala Thorods. It sounds so weird. This is the weird sort of books that I love. This synopsis has everything I really like. I adore weird books. If you have recommendations for weird books, put them in the comments below. I love weird books, and I know I say this a lot, but I really do. So another Finnish book that I really enjoyed that was weird as hell was Rabbit Back Literature Society. Loved that. Bunny by Mona Awad. is a weird book, really enjoyed that. Even Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer is another weird one, and I just enjoy it. I love weird books, and this is a weird book. I'm so intrigued by this one. I actually can't wait. Honestly, the cover is stunning to me. Like, I love this cover so much. I'm so excited for this one. I did my first ever mystery book. I'm so intrigued. So they do this a lot. Not every bookstore, but some independent bookstores will do this, where they have a book wrapped up, a little just tag telling you what's in it, and you have no idea what it is. And this, it got me. I don't normally go for these sort of books because I like knowing what I'm getting. However, this synopsis, oh, it got me. So it says, translated from French, this book is an irresistible and dark historical thriller guaranteed to chill the blood. 3 lives are unexpectedly bound across time and space, all of them orbiting around a well of darkness, murder and secret societies. Grief, loneliness and fear are shown to drive people to do terrible things. I mean, there's buzzwords in there for me. Darkness, murder, secret societies, buzzwords. And translated from French. I really get on with French books. Like, I've read quite a few French books and I really do get on with them. So I think we're gonna open this now because I'm too excited. I can't wait. I'm impressed I waited to film because I really wanted to open it there and then. I want to try and keep as much of this tissue paper as I can to use it for my journaling. I would like to journal tonight as well, but I am pretty tired, so I may save that for the morning. Oh my god, it's red! It's red sprayed edges! Oh my god! What is this book? I can't even open it. Okay. Ooh. Oh, isn't that beautiful with the red sprayed edge as well? Okay, this is called The Blend-In. That cover is actually stunning. Focus on the cover, Nami. Look at that. Wow. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, if that was in a bookshelf just like that, that would trick my eye. Like, that looks gorgeous, and look at those edges. Okay, so this is by Jonah Gostawson. Sorry, really do butcher names here on this channel. Oh, okay, so it says 3 women, 3 eras, 1 extraordinary mystery. 1899, Belle Epique, Paris. Lucienne's 2 young daughters are believed dead when her mansion burns to the ground, but she is certain that her girls are still alive and embarks on a secret journey into the depths of the spiritualist community to find them. 1949, post-war Quebec. Teenager Lena's father has died in the French resistance, and as she struggles to fit in at school, her mother introduces her to an elderly woman at the asylum where she works, changing Lena's life in the darkest way imaginable. 2002, Quebec. A former school teacher is accused of brutally stabbing her husband, a famous university professor, to death. Detective Maxine Grant, who has recently lost her own husband and is parenting a teenager and a new baby single-handedly, takes on the increasingly perplexing investigation. Under enormous personal pressures, Maxine makes a series of macabre, can't say that word, gross discoveries that link directly to historical cases involving black magic and murder, secret societies and spiritualism, and women at breaking point who will go to terrifying lengths to protect the ones they love. Wow, that sounds really good. And this one's translated by David Warrener. That sounds really good. Oh, I'm so intrigued by this. Oh, that sounds amazing. This is what I mean, that bookshop, holy cows, I loved their selection of books. These 2 are just right up my street. So those are the 3 books I got, which, considering the amount of bookshops I went into, I'm really impressed that I only got the 3 books. I am so excited for all of these. I kind of just want to put them down and put down the book I'm reading to start these straight away because that sounds amazing. I am going to quickly talk to you about L'Adore though. Oh my gosh, I've been filming for ages, I'm sorry. So L'Adore, this is a book that I've been reading. I read a good chunk of it now-ish. I'm up to chapter 15, page 111. And this bit from introducing our characters, obviously they decided, okay, we're going to move back to England, but we've only just started to get to that point because the last section of pages that I've been reading has actually been the background story to L'Adore from when he was younger, when he was going to college, how he met his friend, which is important to them meeting Fanny, which we've just met Fanny, and we're seeing how Fanny and Ethel like connect to one another and why that all happened. So we've seen that, and then we see L'Adore as he grows up, starts traveling loads of places, doesn't really want to be tied down anywhere, and then he decides, actually, you know what, I'm gonna get married, gets married, and you see how toxic it is, and the result of why they became estranged in the first place. It was a lot of explanations, but I did still like it. Like, I like this writing style. I'll probably read a couple of chapters before I go to bed. It is reading slow though. Like, I am slowly getting through this book because, I mean, I've said it every time, but that is some dense writing there. But I haven't actually read much today because I started reading on the aeroplane, then I fell asleep, so I didn't read anymore. And I read a chapter at lunch, and that's it. I haven't read more, and I do think I'm probably only going to get another chapter or two before I go to sleep because I am so tired right now. As you can probably tell with the really long rambles and stuff I'm going on. But I am really liking this one. I would like to make some more progress with this. I don't know, I really like it. It's very different for Mary Shelley from, as I said, from the 2 previous works I've read. I like it. I'm really enjoying how different it is, and it does feel like a Jane Austen book. However, there is more explanation into the background of characters that I feel like Jane Austen, it's weird to say, but I feel like Jane Austen's a bit quicker to get to the drama of like the love and everything. Whereas this is a bit more like slow and methodic, and you're learning all the histories behind things. Like, there's still drama when you think about the time that this was written in, the drama of being estranged from his wife and all of that. Like, that's high stakes drama, but it doesn't feel as fast paced as a Jane Austen book. And I also find Jane Austen books lighter and more fun to read. This is definitely slower. It's not as melancholic as her other book, like Frankenstein, but it is still a bit more dreary when you compare it to something like Jane Austen, which is the comparison I keep making because of the fact that it said on the back it was Mary Shelley's most Jane Austen-like book. Anyway, I have spoken for way too long. I am going to stop. I'm going to chill, take off my makeup, take off my rings, and just veg. I'm already in my pajamas, but I need to just chill and sleep because I'm so tired. And then we'll start tomorrow, and I'll bring you with me. I don't really know what I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow's more of just like a spontaneous wander into random shops. I've seen an art store. I want to go have a look at that. Probably like jewelry and whatever stores take my fancy, and then my partner's with me. Late evening. Not yet. So basically I've got all day to wander around, do what I want, but I'm really pleased I got to all the bookshops today, and honestly, these are so good. I am so impressed with these. Okay, right, stop, Kirsten. We're just going to keep rambling, and I'm too tired for that. evening. Another busy day, which I will definitely talk you through, but I just want to mention that I hope this audio quality is okay because that fan in the bathroom works. I mean, there is no question about whether that works. It just doesn't stop. Like, I have no idea how to turn it off. There's no plug or anything, so I have no idea. So it's just a constant hum. So I'm really hoping it doesn't get picked up too much in this video, but if it is, I'm sorry. I started off my day with a really nice breakfast of just fruit because I knew I wanted to go to Grow Urban. Grow Urban is a plant and coffee shop and I loved it. I didn't want to start my day off walking around straight away. I mean, I didn't particularly start my day early, but I really wanted to start the morning just relaxing and reading, but I just couldn't do it here. There was just too much noise. Like, with them doing their work, I just could not focus. And as much as I could go downstairs, I thought, you know what, no, I want to go to Grow Urban, so let's actually just spend a morning there. I mean, I spent, what, almost an hour there? It was lovely. I really enjoyed it. I loved the food. I really enjoyed the atmosphere of it all, and just being able to relax and read surrounded by plants was a dream. It was perfect. And I did read a couple of chapters of L'Adore. So I'm now up to volume 2, page 147. I haven't read much, to be honest. It's been like 4 chapters. That's all I've read today, but I've been busy so far. And I didn't read this in the evening in the end because I was too tired. I read 2 chapters at Grow Urban and the plot twist was like, wait, what? I did not see that coming at all. Like, nobody saw that plot twist coming. There was drama, there was so much going on, and now it's set about a series of events that I'm like, I have no idea where we're gonna go from here. Everything I thought this book would be about, yeah, that's gone out the window. I've got no idea what the rest of this book is gonna be about, but I am so intrigued. It was a plot twist among plot twists, and it made me wish that I annotated this book. Not just the plot twist, but just in general. There have been so many beautiful quotes that I have adored so much. I really have been enjoying this read, and it got me thinking about annotating in general because I haven't annotated the last couple of books. I can't annotate Divine Rivals, which I'll talk about in a minute, and it just made me think how much I enjoy annotating a book. It's something that really enhances the reading experience for me. I love being able to take the time to underline quotes that I've loved, to look at different themes that the book's exploring and follow that progression throughout the book. It's just something I really enjoy doing, and this is definitely a book to annotate. Like, it is so good. We're mainly still following Ethel. Ethel is the main perspective that we're following, and we're now seeing how this series of events is impacting her, and I am highly intrigued for the rest of this book. It's got so much drama to it and I'm really enjoying it. It's also making me realise how much I miss reading classics. Classics isn't something that I could read one after another. That would burn me out too much. But I do adore the writing style of classics. I love it so much. I love the themes that they explore. I just think they're so well done, and this has made me really miss reading more classics. So I think what I would like to try and do going forward is read like maybe 1 or 2 classics a month, because I really am enjoying it. I've already set my August TBR and I don't think there's any classics in that one. I would really like to do that because it's just so good. I enjoy it so much. Anyway, so yeah, plot twist central and drama and mayhem going on in this book. Really enjoyed it. I read 2 chapters at Grow Urban. I also read 2 chapters this afternoon at Waterstones because I needed a break. I'd done loads and loads of walking, so I took a little bit of a break there, had a tea cake, another chai, and just sat down and read for another like 30-40 minutes and just read 2 chapters, and it was great. I loved it. I really want to read more of this evening. I think I'm going to read this after this update. Before I get into today though, I'll talk about the evening. So I did some journaling, which I enjoyed, and I also read Divine Rivals. I've read half of part 2. Part 2 is all I can read this week, and again I think it worked out as another 14 chapters. So I read 7 chapters last night and I loved it, and I came to the decision that I really want to get a physical copy, and I would love to annotate that as well because this is just really good. I'm enjoying the emotions in this, and I know I spoke about that last week. I can't remember if I mentioned it at the start of this vlog, but the emotional impact of this book, the way it explores emotions, is so well done. I'm really enjoying it. We've also learned a little bit more about the mythology of a god and goddess, only one god and goddess specifically, and a little bit more about magic. Not much, it's not really explained, but you understand how the typewriters are doing this thing a little bit more. This is just, it's so poignant and beautiful, and I really am enjoying it, and the writing style isn't overly flowery, but it's got just enough to it that I'm really enjoying it. Like, it's an easy, elegant read, but still feels a bit younger, so it's accessible. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this one, and I do wish I had a copy to annotate, but I'm not getting the UK cover. It's not happening. I will go out of my way to get the US cover. I'm not doing the UK cover. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that. And yeah, that was it for the evening. Ended up falling asleep. So exhausted. And today we did lots of just walking around, exploring different shops. Kind of random shops, really. Just whatever took my fancy, I decided to have a look into. I didn't even buy that much today, which I'm pretty impressed with. Actually, this holiday I have been very restrained. Part of that is because the suitcase I've got is small, so I don't actually have room for a lot of stuff, but I did get a couple of things. So the first shop I went into was actually an art shop, and I ended up getting a few journaling supplies. So I got this pack of different paper, which I really like using as like backgrounds and just layering material, and I just really enjoyed that. They had loads to choose from. And then I also got some washi tape, which did I need? No. Did I get anyway? Yes. I got this one with some measuring tape. There we go. Yeah, I just thought it was a bit different. I like it. And then I also, this one I was umming and ahhing about. I almost didn't get it, but it's this bird one. It's a bigger washi tape. I don't tend to use the bigger washi tape, but I think being able to use it almost if I was to use like stickers and having this to cut up bits of it to stick in my journal, I think it would be good. Got those from the art shop. Really enjoyed it there. It was really nice. Very cluttered. And there were so many things to choose from. And then also found a shop that did some really funky stickers that I decided to get. I say funky, I went for the natural stickers, but there was a lot of funky ones as well. But I ended up with this giant moth one. I really liked that. Just the colours of it and everything. I don't like moths in reality, like when they're in the house and that. I actually really don't like bugs. I'm genuinely quite terrified of them. However, they're pretty, and I will put them in my journal. And then another one is some butterflies. I really enjoyed these. And then the last one I got is this sheet of just animals, which I really liked. Those were all the stickers and bits that I got. I did end up finding another bookshop, which was lovely. I really enjoyed it. I went to it the first time I came to Edinburgh, but I'd kind of forgotten about it. But it was really lovely. I did get a book from there, and that's Transformation by Mary Shelley. I really like this. It's really cool, really unique. It's only 101 pages. In case we can't tell, I like Mary Shelley. But this one is, having frittered away his family's fortune in Paris, the profligate Guido, driven by his ungovernable passions, is forced out of his native Giona and harbours plans for revenge. After a mighty storm, he sees a mysterious, misshapen creature approach him from the sea, with whom he makes an infernal bargain to exchange bodies, with momentous consequences. Okay, so this was first published in 1831, and this one also includes short stories The Evil Eye and The Mortal Immortal. Okay, that's interesting. So are we talking about Frankenstein there? With the misshapen creature from the sea? Potentially? I mean, I could be completely wrong there, but yeah, this is a collection of 3 short stories. I'm really intrigued by this. I'm looking forward to this. I like Mary Shelley's work, and I haven't read any of these 3 short stories, so I'm really, really intrigued. My Mary Shelley collection is growing. I also want to get the, is it the 1818 text of Frankenstein, which is like the original unedited one? That's a tangent that we don't need, because all of these updates have been really long, but tonight my partner is coming. He's on a late flight in, so I'm going to be meeting him, and we're going off to the castle tomorrow, which I'm really excited about, because we didn't do that the last time we came here, but we'll do the castle together. So we've got that booked for tomorrow, and we'll see what the rest of it brings. But it does mean I'm probably going to be doing less reading once he arrives, so I'm going to spend this evening until he arrives chilling out and reading more of Lador. I really want to make good progress in that, and probably journaling another page, because I loved Grow Urban, so I might do a more like plant themed one. I think that's my evening plans. I'm just swinging around in this chair. This chair swings. It's really fun. But okay, right, I should go rather than just swinging around in a chair. Okay, so it's only been a few hours, but I've been reading more of Lador, and oh my god, there's so much happening in it. Hang on. So I'm now up to chapter 5 of part 2, and we're on page 179. So I haven't even read loads, but there's just so much that's happened. It is hilarious. So obviously I told you about the fact that there was a massive like plot twist and drama. We're now following Ethel's mother's perspective, and her name is Cornelia. There is so much drama in this. Like, there is the miscommunication trope going on, and I'm just like, wow, it's so good. I will say, actually, one thing I really wanted to mention, and the reason why I'm doing this update, is because I keep forgetting to talk about the different themes that are running through this book. So you have a lot about pride, honor, and what it means to have a name and be seen with honor, and how easy that is to lose honor, and also the difference of that between a male and female in this society. So at the start of this book, you're seeing a lot of Lodore and his honor, and the things that happened that caused him to flee. What have I got? Have I got mascara all over here? Probably. And the way that it was like a slight on his honor and things that even it's all just perceived. Like, and again, a lot of this book is about miscommunication between people and the things that result because of that. You know what? It's frustrating. The miscommunication trope is always frustrating, but also miscommunication is a part of everyday life. Like, it happens. It's such a fact of life, and that's what I really like about Mary Shelley. What she's done with this book is she's really, I mean, a lot of it is like dramatized, don't get me wrong, but she's really taken those common things of human life, like miscommunication, and has just really developed it well. Beyond that, you also have melancholy. I know I've mentioned that is quite a melancholic book, but it does look at the themes of that as well, and also, like I said, the aspect of women in society and how easy it is for them to lose their honor, also how it's done in such a different way. And you're seeing how Cornelia has had to kind of manage this very thin line in society to show that she's an approachable woman, but not too approachable, because we don't want to give them the wrong idea, that she's proud but not too proud, and all of these different things. And it was a really interesting paragraph that was done, because up until this point you've mainly seen it from Lodore's point of view, and now you're seeing Cornelia's perspective on things, and it's really enjoyable, and I'm really liking it. We did see Ethel's point of view, but she's been kept so sheltered and so young that she just idolized her father, and so you've seen that perspective of it, how sheltered and naive that she actually is. And so it's really interesting to see now Cornelia's perspective as someone that is a bit older, seen as mature because she's in her 30s, early 30s, but you know, still very mature, how she has to navigate all of this, and how Ethel really doesn't have a clue for any of these things. Like, she's so innocent. So that's going to be really interesting. I hope we eventually get to see them interact. That'll be really good. I'm really enjoying this, and I just thought those last few pages that I read were just so dramatic, and it had so much like action and interest going on, but it was also really exploring the theme of women in society and that line that you have to straddle, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to get back to reading that, and then I'm going to do a bit of journaling. But I really wanted to talk about it. Honestly, I would probably forget to mention the themes the next time I saw it, and there was just so much happening in this book that I was like, oh wow, this is really awesome. And I really like the way it does flip from the perspectives. You followed Lodore at the start, and then you followed Ethel for a few chapters, and now we're following Cornelia, but it doesn't like flip like each chapter's a different perspective. It's not really like that. Instead, you're just following that character, and you're learning about them, their backstory, what makes them tick as a character, and you're really getting to know all of them, and I'm enjoying that. But it's also done really seamlessly. So timeline in this jumps around a bit, which I mentioned anyway, like Lodore starting to come back to England, and then we have the history of what led up to all of this. Then we followed Ethel from what's happened at the end of part 1 and like the lead up to coming across from England, seeing it all from her perspective. And then we have a moment that happens in Ethel's perspective, and then we go to Cornelia and we get Cornelia's back history of when Lodore left and went to America and what happened during those 10 years on the lead up to it. And now we've just reached that point where the timelines have connected again. So I'm really intrigued to see where it's going to go from here. I think it's actually a good update point because of how the timelines have converged. The way it's written is really interesting. I don't know, I think it's really working. Structurally, it's done really well. I'm really enjoying it. And then also just beautifully written. So I think it's ticking all the boxes for me. What have I got on my jumper? Fluff. So I'm gonna get back to reading this and enjoying that. I've still got 3 hours or so to myself, so we're gonna see how much we get read. Like I say, I'm planning to journal, so I'm not gonna spend the whole 3 hours reading. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go. I'll leave you in peace, and I will catch up with you this time definitely tomorrow. back home. It's been a couple of days. Honestly, I did mean to update, not yesterday, because yesterday was a really late flight and our flight was delayed by a little bit. It was fine, still got home no problem. So I knew I wouldn't update yesterday, but I did mean to update the day before, but just got too busy doing things. We did go to the castle. We also found this like witch museum. We also went to mini golf in the evening, which is why I didn't update anything. It's just been a really fun time. The last day we didn't really do as much. We went around a couple of shops that we wanted to like last minute go into. But that was about it. It was more of like a waiting day. I don't know if you ever find this when you know that you're having to go somewhere and you're just waiting till the time to do that. It's been a really nice holiday. I enjoyed the few days in Edinburgh. I'm pleased that I got to go for a bit longer this time and actually do things I haven't done before, like fly on my own. So I was really pleased with it. But today we're off to see the Barbie film, so of course the Barbie dress had to come out. Very excited about that, although, oh, I forgot, I did pick up a book at the Witch Museum. I really liked this Witch Museum. It's only a little small museum, but it was really interesting, filled with really unusual things, and they had a couple of books up for sale, and this one is all about vampires, and I was very intrigued. It says on the back, vampires exist. They're a bit stranger than what we may have read, heard or imagined before now. This book rips away the myth to expose their habits and lifestyles. It divulges actual first-person encounters with vampires of all types, the ancient undead of folklore, contemporary mortal blood drinkers, and the most dangerous creature of all, psychic vampires who intentionally drain the life force from their victims. We're gonna give it a try. I thought it was really interesting, and I really want to do like a vampire shelf with books. I have a video planned, which people on my Discord know about, coming out in October, which, based on this material, I'm sure you can assume what that's going to be about. I've always enjoyed vampires. They're always a massive big thing, and I find it really fascinating to see how they've been depicted in literature. So I saw this and I was like, this will be a fun addition to my vampire shelf when I eventually do that. So yeah, I think this is going to be really interesting and fun, and even though it's a new book, it's also like battered and old feeling, and I kind of love it. But yeah, so I picked that up, and generally it was just a fun time, and we always love a bit of mini golf. Whenever, if we go in somewhere new and they have mini golf, we always do it because it's so much fun. It's so silly. That was it really. That was my few days at Edinburgh. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing bits of it as well. It was really nice. One thing actually that was a bit disappointing with the castle, they have these stadium seats around the entrance of the castle. So before, when you went up there, you used to get this amazing view before you got into the castle, and now you don't get that. It's all kind of taken over with the stadium. I don't know if that's a new thing that's just going to be there permanently, whether it's just a short-term thing. I've got no idea. But it was a bit of a shame, although we did get to see the cannon blast at 1 PM, which was really fun. I didn't realise they did it at 1 PM every day, apart from Sundays, but we didn't even know. We just stumbled across it. We just had our time booked, and as we were finishing, it was getting close to 1 o'clock, and there was all this crowd of people coming. We were like, what on earth's going on? And then my partner worked out what it is, and as you saw, the film and everything, and that boom was loud. It was so loud. But yeah, so that was really fun. Reading. Let's do some reading update. I finished part 2 of Divine Rivals. I really am enjoying this. I really like it. I think it's just a really nice, it's a nice story with so much emotion in it, and we've learned more about the mythology side of things as well, but it's not overwhelming, and it's nice. Like, it's just, I don't know, there's just something about the mix of this book which I'm really enjoying, and like I say, it is a buddy reader over on Discord, and a few people have been really enjoying it as well, which is really good. And yeah, I don't really want to put it down. I just want to carry on, but I will wait until next week. It's only literally a couple days. I really am enjoying this. It's just the emotion behind it all, and then you have the rivals, and it's hilarious, and there's been like a development with that bit, and it's just really fun to see them interact. They're banter and yet irritation, and it's just fun. It's a good time, and yeah, like I say, I am really interested in more of their work because I'm enjoying this one a lot, so much more than I thought. And I know I just keep repeating myself in that aspect, but I really do. And I also like the look at the war aspect of this and the realities of being in war, the after effects, because you're seeing a lot of the people who've been wounded in war and that feeling of despair and not being able to do anything, not being able to help. Our main character's there to just report on things, and yet she wants to help, but how do you help with this? And so it's really interesting look at all of that, so I'm enjoying that. And then L'Adore, I didn't read much of this over the last couple of days. I kind of expected that anyway, but I did get up to page 232, chapter 11 of part 2, and I'm still enjoying this one. So in this last little bit that I've read, it definitely feels more like a Jane Austen love drama situation going on. It's all going faster than what I thought it was going to be. So I went into this book expecting one thing, and then we had that plot twist happen, and I was like, damn, didn't see that coming. So that changed the book, and then I was like, oh okay, so now I think I know what this rest of the book's going to be about. And it's changed again, because the bit that I thought was going to be the rest of the book was done quite quick, really. It didn't take the whole book. Like a Jane Austen romance would take the whole book to develop, and at the very end they get together. Yeah, it's not like that at all. You do have romance, you do have drama and scandal, but it's all sped up. Like, I'm enjoying it though. I really am enjoying this book, and you know I've spoken about it a lot, so I can't really add more to that other than this book is taking so many twists and turns that I don't expect. I do think I'm just going to carry on with this one next week though. I don't want to rush read it. I've still got 108 pages. 108 pages left to go? No. 208 pages left to go, and I don't want to force myself to read 104 pages a day of this. I really want to enjoy it, because I am enjoying this one so much. When I pick it up, I'm just in awe of the writing. It's beautiful writing, and this book is not going to be for everyone, because this is very much a look at lives. It's mundane, there's not a lot of stuff going on, but I think if you like classic and you like Mary Shelley and you want to try some more of her work, then give this one a try. It's very different to her other works though, so just keep that in mind. I think it is a good one if you like Jane Austen, so maybe pick up some of her short stories if you prefer the gothic elements of Mary Shelley, if you're not as interested in Jane Austen, because it has elements of Jane Austen, but it's also clearly Mary Shelley's own voice. So I'm just enjoying it. It's really, really good. I really like it. But yeah, I don't want to rush read it. So I'm not actually sure what I'm going to read this weekend, because obviously busy today because I'm going out to see Barbie. And then I've got work tomorrow early morning, so I need to get myself ready for work. So I don't think I'm really going to be reading much, so I'm undecided. I probably won't wrap up the vlog yet, just in case I read more. So no books finished in this weekly reading vlog, but also kind of expected. I don't know if anyone's the same. So we were having this conversation on Discord, but when you go away, do you ever read as much as you think you're going to read? Because I always used to think me going away on holiday meant I would get loads read, and it just doesn't happen. I find that I'm always busy. I'm so busy, which is understandable if you're going to a new place, unless it's a beach holiday, in which case, yeah, you're going to chill out and read. Otherwise, you're busy, you want to do things, you want to see things, and it just doesn't happen. So I never read as much as what I think I'm going to. That's a whole side tangent, we don't need that. What I'm actually still carrying on this bit for is I have an unboxing. It's my locked library book box. I was actually a little bit worried about this one because it was a much later than what it normally is. Normally this arrives like clockwork on the 12th of the month, like without fail, but this time it was 2 weeks late. No, not quite 2 weeks late. A week and a half? Which isn't that bad, but you know when you're so used to something and you're like, this is the first time it's different. Not the point. What is in this box? A book, definitely, but what book? Ta-da! Oh, they've made this a bit smaller. Let's see. I don't know what this book is, actually. I never know what these books are. They always do give like a spoiler, like here's a hint. Never guess it. Ooh. Pretty. Ooh, that's nice. They have very nice edges. And we're back to lovely end papers. I have to admit, that was the disappointment on the last one. This is gorgeous. Love that. And, ooh, is that a dragon? Yes, it is. Look at that. That's beautiful. And the back. Is it going to show? A little bit. So this is And Break the Pretty Kings by Lena Jeong. And this says, Marie is the crown princess of the kingdom of Seola, heir apparent to the magic that blesses women in her bloodline. With the nation on the edge of war, Marie's mother dying of a mysterious wasting sickness that makes her magic deadly and unpredictable, Marie is hurried through her magical initiation, ready to take her mother's place. But something goes wrong before Marie can inherit the throne. Flames and death and a monster even the gods fear are unleashed. Mary's beloved brother is kidnapped. The only power at her disposal is an incredibly volatile one, the ability to switch with herself in time. Armed with clues her future self can give her and a promise to change nothing in the past, she sets out on a journey through a mythical land of chilling creatures and vindictive enemies to save her brother and stop a war thousands years in the making. Beautiful and nightmarish, this fantasy debut inspired by the historical three kingdoms of Korea follows a crown princess's journey to understand her dark powers and save her realm. Very nice. So we've got a bit of Korean mythology. That sounds really nice. Honestly, beautiful book. I love this. What wins it for me is actually like the end pages. I really like that. Wow, we'll have to let me know if you've heard of this one, if you're interested in this one. It does look beautiful, and that can add to my Locked Library collection. Right, well, that's the end of this update. I've got things to do. I'll catch up with you soon, and I'd love to say to you I'm going to read something. I'd make no promises. It's Barbie. I'm interested in the Barbie cinema. That's why I'm continuing on this a little bit, so that you can see some stuff to do with Barbie in this. I don't know how the cinema's going to be. Probably nothing, as in like nothing special going on. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it regardless. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm so sorry. All these updates have been really long, and editing this is going to be such a pain. But we must go. I'm back from work, very tired, very hot and sweaty because it got a lot warmer than I was expecting at work, and I will be having a shower as soon as I finish this update. But I really couldn't be bothered to have a shower and then re-put on some lipstick. I really like having lipstick on. If I'm going to be in front of a camera or I'm going outside my house, I've got lipstick on. If those two things aren't happening, then yeah, okay, I don't have it. Anyway, person, let's not do the tired rambles. Instead, let's actually wrap up this vlog because I have not read anything since I last spoke to you yesterday. The Barbie film was interesting. It was like a fever dream. There were some musical moments, there were some really fun, ridiculous moments. Although all the parts that took part in Barbie Land was all of that. It was just fun, live energy. It was great. However, the parts that took place in the real world, it was more just highlighting the patriarchy, and it ended up being a lot more political leaning than what I was expecting. And I don't know, I've come out of it in dubious thoughts. I don't really know what to think, and I don't know if I would rewatch it, which is a bit of a shame. But I think I just wasn't expecting those political aspects of it, and I get it, I get the reasons why they did all that. It's just, anyway, point was, I went there. I'm pleased I went. It was a fun time. But yeah, I haven't read anything, so let's just wrap up what I have read, which you already know because I mentioned it in literally the last vlog update. I'm tired. Let's just get through this quick. So, L'Adore. I did get up to part 2, chapter 11, page 232, and I will be carrying on in the next weekly vlog. I am looking forward to reading this. I really want to continue on with it. The writing is amazing. I like the themes that it's exploring. I also understand how this would be a bit boring for some people. I enjoy it, and like I say, if you like Jane Austen or even Thomas Hardy, I think you would enjoy this. But it's different to her other works, and I'm enjoying it for that, but it's still got her luscious writing. And I also finished part 2 of Divine Rivals, and I'm very excited to start part 3, and this is a book that's taken a lot of inspiration from the World Wars. I think it's World War II, looking at war, the effects that it has on the people that get left behind, and then you're seeing the people that are getting hurt by the war and how frustrating and useless you can feel as somebody looking in at it. And alongside that you get this really nice cute romance that's blossoming, and I can't wait to see how it's gonna go. I feel like something's gonna happen that's gonna go wrong in a way, because let's face it, with one of them knowing exactly who they're talking to and the other one not knowing, that's gonna cause some problems. But I'm excited to see how it does develop. And that's it. I didn't actually finish a book this week, but I'm not mad about it because I had a great time in Edinburgh. It's been a really busy few days and I literally plan on just relaxing this evening. I am so worn out. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed it. A bit of a slightly different vlog, a lot more b-roll of the time in Edinburgh than anything else, but it's been good. I've enjoyed it. So I am going to stop the rambles and I'm gonna disappear. So thank you so much for watching. I think if you've made it this far, then let's put like a castle. Is there a castle emoji? or a unicorn emoji in the comments below for Edinburgh. Leave it there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all doing really well. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it that thumbs up, subscribe and comment. Those 3 things really help this channel grow, and I will of course catch you in the next video. That's wrong. My social media links and anyone I've mentioned will be linked below, and I will catch you in the next video.